Hey, everybody. Well, welcome to a very special edition of What's Up Wrestling. We all just saw the premiere of well, not all, whoever watched AEW Collision tonight. Big night for wrestling, big week for wrestling. I'm so glad Ruiz, my co-host, is here. It's a lot to talk about. I just want to get right into it. I'm wearing my AEW sweatshirt in honor of Collision premiering tonight. I mean, it's a big thing to have a Saturday night wrestling show. But what is your initial reaction, Luis, to what we saw, CM Punk's return, and what did you think of the overall show? But let's start with Punk's return.
I thought it was great. The crowd was hot. I mean, they had to put it in Chicago. Even he probably would have gotten a hot crowd anywhere, but obviously Chicago would be magnified. That first promo was it was just they started right with it with him. He came out, he fired some shots. It was pretty cool to watch. I liked it a lot. It was better than I expected crowd wise, and just with what I didn't think they were gonna let him go out and say all that stuff, which they did. So I was glad that they did. You kind of get that half heel, half face Punk, which is good.
And that was what I wanted to talk to you about. It did feel like half face, half heel Punk. And it did feel like I am not convinced that there's not a heel turn coming once they're out of Chicago. Like I'm feeling like he didn't come out when I saw him in LA, when other people have seen him in the live show, he'd jump into the crowd. He was really, into the fans. That's not what we saw tonight. We saw CM Punk kind of saying, I'm the shit. And, here's the thing. He didn't really address anything, although there was a line, and now I can't remember exactly what he said, but there was a line about Bucks.
He said that the guy calls him big it was a $1 Phil because he's the
Can you come a little more forward?
Yeah.
You're thanks. I couldn't hear you. And, yeah.
$1
was it $1
Phil? Bill, because he's the only real Bill in a world full of counterfeit bucks. So we know where that's headed. And then I don't know if you saw the Young Buck, Kenny Omega put it in his bio, or the Young Bucks put it in their bio on Twitter. If this was 2018, we would have already had a counterfeit Bucks T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. So they already started going back and forth.
I mean, I really liked the opening of AEW Collision. I thought Saturday Night's All Right was a really good opening with the Elton John song. I thought it was a really cool opening to the show. And then the crowd was so hot. And here's the problem. The crowd was so hot. I thought there were audio problems I couldn't hear the announce team.
Yeah, I was gonna text you. I was like, I cannot hear the announce team. Like when they were doing like the intro thing, I couldn't hear a word he said. Like nothing. It was like, all CM Punk chant.
I was like, I can't hear what they're saying. So I thought that was a bit of a distraction. Do you feel Punk addressed, and when you saw his opening remarks coming back 9 months later after everything had happened, were you satisfied?
It was like half and half. I feel like he could have obviously could have went either way into detail, which he didn't, but he also didn't talk about it, not at all. He kind of went like subtle shots once here and there, but it was more basically saying, he's back and he's still the guy, which is, I guess it's true, but at the end of the day, we all want to see one thing, and it's for them to go at it. So they definitely have to, sneak their way there. But I was actually very surprised. I didn't think they would mention him being the champion, before he left. I didn't think they were going to mention that at all because, it kind of tarnishes what MJF is doing right now a little bit. So, they're kind of teasing that. They might go back to that and have a match there. So we'll see because he name dropped Max too. So I don't know.
So we're having a little bit of latency, like you're a little behind. So I'm wondering if you should log back out.
Come back in? I can, yeah.
So he'll be right back. We were just trying to make sure that he's not latent while you guys are hearing us talk. He's on the East Coast. I'm in the West. I don't know what's going on, but I do want to know what you thought of AEW Collision and Punk's opening. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. I thought the crowd was super hot, which I thought was great. Like I said, I couldn't hear him. All right, here's Luis. Let's see if we can get him back. Luis coming back in. Hey.
Are we good?
Yes. Now, you were saying, what I want to know is, as an aficionado, as a wrestling fan, and I know you do know, you kind of like Punk, right?
Yeah, no, I was very I have a
Then were you not excited about? I was like, this was a big night.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was excited. It's definitely, trust me, like I've stated before, if anybody has seen the other episodes, I watch AEW, but I am more of a WWE fan. But when I get to see, Punk and like my people that I grew up watching on AEW, I tune in because I'm not as into the people that I don't really know. So when when Punk is there, I watched every single week I watched when Punk was there. And then these past 9 months, I haven't really been into it just because he's a big draw and I really like to watch him. So I was excited for him to be there and for the future.
Right. And then there were some interesting matches like Mr. Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, Andrade.
So Mr. Charlotte Flair, as I call him, he's injured from the pec injury, and then so is Buddy Matthews with the knee. And what was really frustrating to me is they would go to the picture-in-picture break. It took me out of the whole thing, and I felt like for the first time, when I watch picture-in-picture on AEW Dynamite, I'm still able to watch it. For some reason, this took me so out, and I couldn't see what was going on. But was there a part of it where there were two, like the ring guys, where the doctor was checking them? Was that like for real?
I don't know. The way that they when they came back out of commercial, the commentator kind of said something like they're both rehabbing their injuries they both had, but I don't know why you would. That seemed like when I was watching it on the small screen, it seemed like a spot that you should do on the actual TV so we know what's going on. It looked like there was a mess up in the match and they had to stop it. That's what it looked like, but we didn't know. So
like a mess up in the match. And also when WWE goes to break, right? And they go to commercial. I know they're doing picture. You kind of know it, they have the setup to go to break at that point. Like nothing much is really going on.
Yeah, no.
And here, all this, there's a lot going on, and you're looking at it like this. And I also think the announce team could not get right picture-in-picture. The guy couldn't say how to go to break. I don't know. It was a little bit.
The one thing that I, like you said, so when WWE doesn't do picture-in-picture, which is, there's some benefits to it. But then the only thing that's good is when every single time WWE comes back at a break, we actually get to see in full screen. They'll show a replay of what happened during the break, and the commentators will talk about it. Here, they don't show a replay because we're technically seeing it, but we can't hear anything, so we don't know what's really going on.
But it was for some reason,
it looked smaller than usual.
Yes. It was so tiny, and and I can barely see. So I'm like,
it looked like my computer screen was on the bottom of the.
It's did the screen squinch up since Dynamite? I was really
it's Saturday, so they need bigger TV.
I do believe that there were some technical problems in this premiere. With that, announced, it's okay, but I think they need to iron that out.
I feel like even with the sound of the entrances, they're very low. They're very low, which is what I've noticed for a while now. They're just very low, which is a little different than what other companies do.
The sound was an issue.
Yeah. For sure.
Because I could hear the arena and I couldn't hear anything else. And what did you think of the match, the main event?
I thought it was really good. I liked it. I think they all got their shine. For a second there, I thought Joe was gonna really put them out, which was pretty cool. But they got a clean win, which I thought was good. I honestly expected a little more swerves and stuff, but it felt like a regular, a regular trios match, and then ended with Punk hitting the GTS. I mean, obviously he was going to go home with the win in Chicago, so I should have expected that.
I really liked when it was Joe and Punk for the first
Mhm.
time in all those years. Like that was exciting.
Yeah.
That was the high point of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that was really good. And then here we got Jay White.
I'm glad to see him in a main event match against all these guys. Like it's better than him in the battle royale on the pre-show of Double or Nothing. Like it's he's gotta, that's where he has to be. He deserves to be there. So, maybe that's the start to, maybe a feud with FTR if that's what they're teasing today.
With who? Oh, with Jay White?
With Jay White and FTR and Juice Robinson. Yeah.
So where do you see Punk going from here? And it seemed to me from this show, he's going to be on Collision. He's going to be
he's going to be the guy on Collision.
Going to Dynamite.
Yeah. Not yet.
You're freezing up.
Am I good?
Talk again. It was just freezing up on you. Am I freezing on you?
No.
Okay. I still think he's going to turn heel.
I think they're going to wait a little bit longer than what we expected for that.
And then have MJF and him be heel, like one big heel in each show.
See, that's the thing I don't get, because if you're not going to do two like main belts, then how are you going to do like Collisions technically separate? You know what I mean? Like it has to have MJF has to be on both. Which I'm.
Are you hello? You there? Okay. How do you feel about a Saturday night wrestling show now that you saw it? Do you think this has a chance? It's a difficult night to get people to be home and to watch a show. But you have Punk on that show.
That's the thing. Yeah. This doesn't work without him there.
No, you got the star of stars of the AEW there. I don't know. What do you think about the rest of the show?
I really liked the Christian Cage and
oh my god,
Luchasaurus.
That was great.
I liked it a lot.
And I thought it was great that they came out of the Punk. I think they started the show hot. Punk comes out, and then they have a title change.
Mm-hmm. And then they had Andrade right after that. So it was three pretty good matches right after each other.
They were really good, and I thought Christian Cage was such an ass. It was so great that he was like, "I won the belt. I won the belt. I won the belt."
Yeah. He it's so cool to see that he's like still like really into it and like plays a really good role. Like he has a really good character on that show. He really does.
Were you a big Christian Edge fan?
I love Edge. It's just one of my favorites. So Christian was always with him. It was like together. Even though I didn't necessarily grow up watching them together, because like at that point that I grew up watching wrestling, Edge was already like the singles like main guy. And then Christian was there. So I didn't get to watch them as a team, but I knew that they were a team. So I used to like Christian, like just because Edge was his partner.
He was such an ass. Like, I won the belt. It was great. Yeah. That was great. And also to take it off of Wardlow. Mm-hmm. Because it hasn't been going anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's been stuck on.
It hasn't been going anywhere. I agree. The Idolo, and Matthews is a great wrestler, by the way.
He's awesome.
I don't understand why in WWE or here he's not pushed to like a main event level. Explain this to
me. And the announcers called him Buddy Murphy.
He did. Yeah. and these announcers, I don't know. I didn't. Am I just used to everybody else, or what did you think?
They're okay.
I was not happy. I was not happy. And then we had the daddy ass Acclaim moment. Is that just because we don't have anything for them to do and we want to put them on the big show, right?
Yeah, and it sucks because they were the champions a few months ago, and it's like they're not doing anything. They're like just stuck there.
Why are they not doing anything with those guys? But so Scissor Me Daddy started in Chicago. That's what they were saying. Yeah, I don't remember that piece of AEW trivia, but okay. So what is your overall takeaway from tonight? You'd watch Collision?
I think it shows that after today is that people will tune in just because Punk's there, and all these rumors and Twitter stuff saying, "Oh, he's not a draw," but he's a draw. Like he is. Like the casual fan, like for example, my dad doesn't watch wrestling. Like he took me to WrestleMania and stuff, but he just like occasionally watches. But he watched today because CM Punk was there. Like that's the only reason he watched, is because he knew who he was and he turned it on because it's Saturday and he was home doing nothing. Like that's what they wanted. So
it's amazing to me also when I, as a journalist and writing and putting stuff on my website, or you see everybody in the mainstream television sites write about CM Punk. I mean, that's the big thing. Like, it is exciting to have him back because it's like
when was the last time we saw an ESPN interview? Like that's crazy that he got an ESPN interview.
I was blown away. And I didn't think the interview was so bad.
No, it was good.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I just was hoping it was going to be like
one-on-one.
A one-on-one sit-down video.
Yeah.
But for a wrestling star to get an ESPN interview like that.
Big time. Yeah.
I mean,
only few get those.
I can't remember the last time I saw that.
Like, I'm sure Roman has one of like recently.
I'm sure, but
that's pretty much it, probably.
But well, I don't remember. That's pretty amazing. So you can't say that he's not a draw, and they're just going on and on about the ticket sales for Collision in these markets. I don't know.
We're definitely gonna see. I think we'll see in the next few weeks when it's not Chicago what happens and if it's true or not.
Well, I thought there was some great wrestling. I thought the opening was great. I think it's great to have Punk. The show moved. The problems were literally the sound, the announce team, and the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
If they can clean that up, it could be good. And how are they going to sustain this? Also, like, Ricky Starks made his thing for is the Owen Hart tournament going to be on Collision? Maybe it is.
I think they're good. I think that's when they're starting it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So there was so much stuff this week. And before we leave AEW, I have to tell you, the best show this week was AEW Dynamite. Everything was great in that show. Like, they knew that they had this coming up, but the MJF Adam Cole match was
perfect. Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I missed it.
It was such a great show.
I recorded it and I watched it like fully. Like, I didn't want to watch highlights. I wanted to watch the full match, and it was awesome.
Awesome. The brilliance of this is, I thought it was so clever at the end to do the 1, 2, and the bell rings and time runs out. Like, how are they going to get out of this? And to me, it was really exciting and clever. What did you think?
First of all, Cole is so underrated. Like, he really is. And honestly, like, MJF is kind of underrated too in the aspect that people don't think he's that good of a wrestler. You know what I mean? And he goes in and out. He says it. He goes, I don't have to wrestle every week, and it's true. And then he goes out there and puts on crazy matches.
That match was by far the best match of the week or months I've seen. It was just, all of it was great. And I was like, how's this going to end? I thought that was great. I liked the Sting part in the 4-way thing. I thought Sting and Jericho. The other thing that we talked about before was, it was so funny. Sammy Guevara was standing up to Chris Jericho and still the crowd was booing him. They were still booing him.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen there now? Can we get him?
The fans really don't like him. That's like he really has a lot of hate. Like, he does.
What? So where's that going to go?
I know they're probably going to keep trying it out, but
you're going.
Oh, I don't know what's going on today. It was fine last time. Is it fine?
Now it is. Yeah.
All right.
That whole show was so good. And then the end, it had run-in after run-in after run-in after run-in after run-in. And it ended with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. But it was like, I cannot believe how much Tony Khan packed into those 2 hours. It's like, that was a great use of time.
Yeah, it was great.
Unlike Monday Night Raw, where I could take 2.5 hours out of it.
And it won't matter.
So by far my favorite show of this past week was that AEW Dynamite. I just thought as a whole.
Yeah, as a whole, he's definitely the best.
As
But
a
then
whole, I'm talking about.
we all know what the best.
I'm not going into that. I just talking about as a whole.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you, who've not been as big a fan of AEW, you liked it.
No, I did like it. I watched the whole show like in full. I really did like it. It's something that I've definitely started to really enjoy because it's just something fresh. Like, I get kind of like, the same Raw and SmackDown can get a little boring. So something different. And I got my guy Jeff Hardy on AEW now. So
unfortunately, we haven't seen Jeff. I don't know.
He's fighting on
There's going to be a match coming up.
He's fighting on Wednesday against the Guns.
The Hardys and the Guns.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I'm scared. And when Punk went on the rope, he went up on that rope.
Oh yeah.
Like he almost fell. I was like, he's gonna screw up his foot.
Like the day.
I was like, so okay, I guess I should take off my AEW shirt now if we're talking about WWE. So last night's SmackDown was so perfect at the end, the best 15 minutes, bar nothing. So I go on social media and I tell people, this is the best storyline on TV, period. That is what I tweeted with my recap of what happened. And I truly believe that. After last night, what we've talked about before, I was like, holy shit, this is so good. It was so good. The setup, it's, will Jey fall in line? Will Jey Uso fall in line was the big thing of the night. It kept going. I was like, let's get to this already. And we get to it. And he comes to the ring and Paul Heyman, is already like in tears. He's overacts, but he's funny. He's like crying. He's not sure what the tribal chief's going to do to him. So he's weird. And then Jey comes out and Roman does the whole number on him. That he's next in line and they set him up and it's been 3 years and Jimmy's out there now. And you get this performance from Jey Uso that is so good.
He's like the MVP of like the past 3 years.
The MVP.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
You get Jimmy, awesome. You get Jimmy and Jey with this great performance. And they threw all of this backstory in, and they threw all this stuff in between the brothers and the twins and what they went through. And didn't he call him Joshua? Isn't that his name? He said Joshua. Yeah. So then Roman tells him that Jimmy didn't want him to be the next in line, which sets up this great thing from Jey, this great spot about, wasn't he like going to prom or something? Wasn't he saying like you threw like everything in there?
Yeah.
And I was not sure. Here's the question. I was not sure at that point. Either I'm a big dumb mark, but I was not sure at that point what was going to happen. Were you convinced at that point he would double cross Roman?
Yeah. I just figured like to keep the storyline going, like they kind of had to, because like then you leave Jimmy there by himself, like, and at the end of the day, like, we're gonna see it's gonna be really cool now, like, because like once I was like, yeah, he's definitely gonna like do something. But like the way it went down was still not expected. I didn't think that's how it was gonna go, but it was that, like, they shocked me with that. It was awesome.
It was awesome. I was not, because if they can surprise somebody like you and me, right? Like, how is it going to end up? I knew, I was in my gut, like, it's got to be, he's going to turn on Roman.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how, but it was like, how is this going to go down? So when he goes, I'm out too, you're out and I'm out too, and super kicks him. how good was Roman though?
No,
Like,
he's
I
so
can't believe
he's
you.
sold like crazy. Like, and then when he sold the double super kick, he looked like he got like shot. So
It was
I'm
so
very excited.
masterful, so
Yeah.
masterful. So was Jey. And I truly believe, like you said, 3 years ago, was it already 3 years? When did Jey and Roman wrestle? Was it 3 years ago?
That was his like first title defense after becoming the champion.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to be. The story has to go till next year. It's got to be Jey taking the title. It has to be. It has to be. It can't be Cody.
Like
It
we
has to
said,
be Jey.
like we said, we're watching all this stuff. Where does Cody fit in? Where does he fit in here? He's just gonna show up and win? Like, I don't understand.
No, when you're telling a story, and as a writer, I'm telling, like, this is such great storytelling, Luis. I mean, it's like,
Like, I really wonder. I always say, like, I wonder how much. Like when that whole storyline happened where Jimmy was saving Jey from Roman and all this stuff. Like, I wonder if they knew this is what was gonna happen for this long. Like, if they knew at that time that they were gonna this was a storyline for 3 years, was that they're gonna have the bloodline and all this stuff. Like, I wonder when they figure that out.
I don't know if they figured all that out, because I think they first would be like, is this even going to work? And then it worked better. But it kind of feels like this is all leading back to the start.
I would love to see Jey win.
Jey, I think Jey, because they're pushing Jey.
Yeah, like, it looks like they're pushing Jimmy, but it's really Jey. Like, it's Jey's the main guy.
And so here are my questions for you. Do you think there really is going to be an Usos tag team thing? I know they're wrestling in Money in the Bank. I know the Usos are going against Sikoa and Roman. But I'm wondering moving forward if they're just going to elevate Jey as a singles competitor so they can keep, him.
I think that
their brothers fall apart anyways.
I don't know how long they're gonna keep Solo with Roman, because I think eventually he's gonna also turn. But I would love to see some type of triple threat or fatal four-way with all four of them. That's what I'm dying to see. I would love to see a fatal four-way between all four guys at SummerSlam. That's like my dream match. That's what I would pay money to see.
So they're literally all against each other in a fatal four-way.
Yeah, for the titles. I'm
thinking that at some point Solo's got to turn. He's going to help his brothers. It's brothers. So he's going to have to either help Jey in his title match against Roman, and that's the flip. Or before that, he loses everybody.
Who do you think they're going to have Roman go against at SummerSlam?
What? It was very slow. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Sorry.
Who
do you think they're gonna have Roman go against at SummerSlam?
I feel like, does it matter if they're not going to lose the belt?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just don't know where they're gonna go. I wonder if it's gonna be Jimmy or Jey. It's gonna be one of them.
I don't think Jimmy. I think it's Jey. I don't think Jimmy's in the picture with this. Do you think Jimmy would get a shot at Roman?
I think maybe just at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam's a big heavy. Yeah,
it would be Jey.
I don't know.
But do you want to blow Jey and Roman at SummerSlam, or do you want to keep it going to WrestleMania till next year?
I don't know. It's so hard for me to see Jey Uso in a main event at WrestleMania. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though he's that good, he's just like, it's shocking to me.
Oh, that it wouldn't be that he wouldn't be that it would be weird to have him at a main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah, like in WrestleMania, it's just like hard for me to see that. Like, even though we all want it, like, I don't think WWE will do that. They want to, I don't know if they would do that.
Okay. So where does this go now? They're going to have this match at Money in the Bank.
I would hope it doesn't end clean, because I don't think either team should lose.
Right. And You don't want the Usos to win?
I just don't think I want the Usos to win, but I don't think that they're gonna have Roman lose clean.
No.
And I don't see Solo taking the pin either.
And do you think Paul Heyman will last, or you think he's the next to go? And
I would love to see him. I would love to see him with the Usos.
The Usos.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like if they could have the whole thing keep dismembering on Roman.
Like Roman should have to defend his title at WrestleMania when he's completely alone. And that's it. Everyone left him.
That's it.
And then he loses, and then it's over with. And
it's over with. It's done. That's it. He has to, as I told you, we talked last time, he has to keep losing more people till he's finally just all alone. There's nobody to help him. And by having nobody to help him, he can't stand up on his own and defend it. He has to lose it after everything, all the damage he's done.
And I don't think that we're done with the. I don't think we're done with the Sammy and KO story yet with them. I think they're going to be involved somehow with this whole thing because he still talks about Jey and all that. So I think it's going to be something with them.
Do you think Sammy and Jey would be the tag team, and Sammy and Kevin have a falling out for the 9,000th time?
I think it's inevitable that they're going to fall out. Like it's just going to happen.
It's really interesting to me. Like when Sammy's music hits, the crowd goes nuts. When Kevin's music hits, they don't.
It's like, oh,
it's kind of like you're this, number two. It was just the best. You cannot beat that. I've watched it over and over again. How good the acting was. It was great. I was listening to Busted Open this morning, and they were talking about Mark Henry was saying that there should be like wrestling should be in like the Oscars and the Emmys because the best Emmy performance by a wrestler. They were so good.
No, that was great. They really like they've perfected their character. Like they really have all of them. I
just think Jey is excellent, and I think
he deserves it. I think
is he the better wrestler, right, than Jimmy?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Jimmy, I just feels hobbled by injuries.
Yeah.
Right, and wasn't he like, I carried you? We carried this when you were injured, and I went out there and did it. It was like really well done, and I think it's because when you follow a soap opera, this is kind of how it goes. There's cliffhangers, there's family drama, there's all that. It just felt like right into it. What other matches did you like on SmackDown? I was like, not. It was just the last 15.
I would say, I guess the tag team 4-way was good, and then it was cool to see that team.
I'm sorry. Will you explain to me why Pretty Deadly is getting a push? Are you into them? I don't get it.
Not really. I'm really not.
I get it. I mean, they're really pushing them.
I think they just want some new fresh faces on the roster that they want.
But why? I don't know. I'm not a fan of them.
I'm not too into them either. I'm at all. But
wait,
I guess it's different. So it's not just like missing all the same guys over and over again.
The Damian Priest Finn Balor thing was the best part of Raw to me.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Wait, we talked about that before.
Yeah, we talked about it on the last one. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And so where does that leave us? Yeah. Money in the Bank.
We got I think I don't know. I really don't know who's gonna win the men's one.
Well, now after LA Knight lost on Friday, he just lost. I was thinking to LWO, like that guy. Sent right Escobar. He lost. So I thought, well, that's kind of nothing. What what are you hoping happens now for Money in the Bank at this point?
I want one of the Usos to get in there. Like but they can't because that's what I wanted was one of them to win it, but they can't now because they're doing the tag match. So like for the men's selections aren't that good. Like I'm not too like high on anyone besides Damian Priest. I really want Priest to win it.
I'm all for Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I wanted to ask you, what happened with Io Sky? Why is she not getting a push after you saw her amazing performance, or there was an amazing performance.
Yeah.
And now she lost to Zelina Vega. And I was wondering what you thought of that, because you were all about Io Sky and they're kind of burying her now. Am I missing something?
Yeah, they are. No, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. She's like super like over. Like I don't know why you wouldn't just go along with it. She should be the champion.
Now, what do you think about the rumors of Hook going to WWE?
I saw that. I was very interested in seeing that. I'm very surprised that that's even a rumor because he's not someone I expected, like looks wise, for them to want. But
right, unless they're going for like the good-looking guy, but they're not going for the big guy. Which I was surprised after our conversations that they would.
Obviously, his father has some ties to WWE, so I mean, it wouldn't be crazy.
And
that would be a good signing.
Also, I wanted to go back to the CM Punk interview on ESPN and what he said about Adam Page. So he's basically saying that Adam Page did a shoot, came out there, and basically told him nobody in the back likes him. Like everybody left him say it to you. And I watched it back, and I kind of think it does seem like that. Yeah. But I like Adam Page, so I'm like, is Adam Page a douchebag? Like what?
Yeah, he definitely did do that. So that's why it's that's kind of that's not cool. Like you don't I don't think you go out. I don't know what people care about, but like I don't know if you go out there and do that like without having said anything,
I thought that, yeah, I agree. And then I was watching the footage of the match where Punk was saying he felt he had to protect himself during the match. He didn't feel comfortable going into the match. And then I watched, there was him getting hit, and it looked like he was really getting hit. So you could kind of see is it maybe Punk's telling the truth? I
mean, I was kind of on Punk's side with the whole backstage rollout thing, more than the Young Bucks and all of them. I thought Punk was in the right. You got to call him out. You got to call him out. He did the same thing to him. So,
and to your point, I think you're right, and I think that's a really good part of the story. He's basically saying, "I tell it like it is."
Yeah,
and I think he
should start embracing that character, and that would make it even better.
Did you earlier when you were growing up, were you able to see Punk in WWE?
Yeah, no, I saw Punk. Like I started watching when Punk was in ECW.
Okay, so I wasn't I'm just trying to follow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like him in ECW? And where did you?
I always thought he's like when he won the Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania. Like that, I like fell in love with him. Like I thought he was like awesome and like super cool. And then when he retired, Jeff Hardy, I hated him.
And then did you like him as a heel, Punk?
The best I ever liked, like the character I loved the most. I really liked Straight Edge Society. I thought that was really cool. Like I really liked it. And then I really liked when he was the champion for those like the year and a half or whatever it was.
So my question to you is, do you think they might do that again in a stable in AEW with him being a heel that's a riff on that without it being that, because it's a different league?
I really think he should have a stable, like because like when I was saying like in his first run, he didn't really have like it's kind of like Cody. Like Cody in WWE doesn't have anything. Like he never has anything. And then Punk was kind of in the same boat. I mean, he's FTR, but like other than that, so I would like to see him run a faction.
Right. And that brings us back to Cody again. Okay. So now what?
He's
I mean,
fighting Dominic. He's
I mean,
fighting
yeah,
Dominic at Money in the Bank.
he's what? Dominic, right?
Dominic, yeah.
So, and then I guess that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all right.
And you
Good
think
for
there's still a
Dominic,
Lesnar match at SummerSlam,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're gonna have the third one at SummerSlam, and I don't know if you saw that they said they want to do a match type that hasn't been used in like 10 years. So I don't really know which one it's gonna be.
Right, I know that. What would that be?
I'm trying to think. People were saying
You up
dog
by your
collar.
fingernails match.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
and
I
the
don't.
dog collar match that Punk talked about. He meant the with MJF, the collar
Yeah,
match.
people were saying that there might be that, or I don't even know, casket match. I have no idea.
So where do you sit now as somebody who will you give AEW more of a shot after Collision, or are you kind of feeling like
Yeah,
you
no,
just
definitely. Once Punk is there,
yeah.
Once Punk is there, I definitely am more intrigued. It creates more storylines, so that's why I like it.
Even though it's on a Saturday night.
Yeah, like I'm most of the times like thinking about like 8 to 10, like I'll probably still be home at that time, so I'll probably watch it. And it's actually cool because when you think about it, I know TNT is a big network, so sometimes even if you're like at a bar or something, it might be on because TNT is like a sports channel, so they might just leave it on, and it'll just be on the TV. So that's why I feel like the time slot isn't the worst.
What did you think of Miro's return, and do you care?
I don't care. I don't. It was like
I know.
yeah,
I was like, what? Yeah. New Jersey, it said AEW is coming to New Jersey.
yeah. I saw that.
Will you be there at that point?
Yeah,
And
I'm definitely gonna go. Yeah,
you gotta go.
yeah. I went to only one, and I sat on the floor, and it was like when Punk and MJF were feuding for the first time, and it was really cool. I had a great time.
Oh, you did go.
Yeah,
Oh, we've got some comments here. If Tony was wise, he would turn this whole thing into a shoot and have Punk feud with Page Omega and the Bucks. Do you agree?
I agree. That's exactly what he should do.
Ryan, he agrees. Luis agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do think that should happen. But then you'd have
Yeah,
to.
I mean, it's a moneymaker. Like it really is.
What'd you say? Say it
It's a
again.
moneymaker. That would sell so many tickets. So is Punk gonna be? You think Punk will be on
Dynamite.
Forbidden Door, or is he gonna get left off that?
I think he's left off that.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough time to create any.
I think there's no time to create anything. And what do you think about Forbidden Door? Do you think? Are you even interested?
I just don't really know the guys that from like New Japan that well, so it's like kind of hard for me to care. But like I like it's dumb to me. It's dumb to me that you have like AEW World Championship matches against NJ. They're obviously not going to win, so it's like they're not going to bring the AEW Championship to NJPW. That's not going to happen.
Well, here's what bothered me about it. Like it's like, and coming up to Shuka da Baduka is it's just like so and so. It's like great. There was no build up.
No.
It was just like, here it is.
You saw. I don't know if you saw that Ospreay has been tweeting saying he wants to show up at Money in the Bank.
I think Ospreay's a great wrestler.
Imagine he did that. That'd be crazy. Him and Seth have beef.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
on that, thank you for bringing that up. I had this on my list for you. Seth Rollins, NXT, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is like, I'm going to wrestle him. He's doing this thing. And then Seth pops up and accepts.
Yeah.
Because he's the fighting champ.
Yeah.
So is that to give, right? So Seth is going to go to NXT to help the ratings, right? And do a match with Braun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And Seth is literally going to be consistently defending this title.
Yeah, I love it. I thought that was great.
I think it's great.
I also love that it's on NXT. I thought they were going to bring Breaker to Raw and do it.
No, I thought it was great that Seth bounces around. Like,
it's cool. He's making he's like the best. Like I love Seth.
The like best.
Yeah.
I really think he's the best. And then the other thing is, I also thought that was also newsworthy as Braun Breaker was asked about his father's comments,
Mhm.
and he on the derogatory transgender comments that his father made.
Yeah, I saw that.
Rick Center, and it said there's going to be more on this in an interview coming out Monday about it. But I was glad to see Braun took his own stance and didn't like go, yeah, my dad.
Yeah, he said like I'm
Yeah,
on my own.
I'm on my own, which was a smart move to say, like instead of getting other than that. Are you watching NXT at all?
I don't really watch it as much, like to the point where I'm watching it live. Like I know what happens because I watch it like on my TikTok, like after it's done. But like, I mean, I'm gonna watch this Tuesday so I could see this match. So
Is it
for
on
sure.
Tuesday? Is it Tuesday?
Wednesday? Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't remember which day that's on.
Oh, Seth is coming there this quickly. It's
Yeah, I
happening.
think it's the next NXT. Yeah,
Wouldn't it be shocking if he
imagine he lost.
that would be
Yeah.
such a great
Or
story.
he's fighting Finn Balor at Money in the Bank with no title.
Exactly. So do you feel now, with everything that's happened this week, wrestling's in a great place? I think it's really in a great
We're loaded right now. We're loaded.
We're loaded. I think
Okay.
fans are going crazy. We're loaded. But the pop on Friday night really just did that top the other parts of the story for you?
I think
The last, like, you know,
I
how
would say the only thing that was better was this when Sammy did it. That was the loudest and the best that it would probably get.
when Sammy turned on Roman, right?
Yeah, that was the best one. Other than that, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Yeah.
And what did your uncle watch it?
Yeah.
What was his reaction?
No, he's like the same boat. He's like it's the like the acting and it's the best storyline. Like it just really it's the best thing they've done in years. Like it might be ever. It might be the best storyline in history of WWE. It could be.
So many people, you know, that I watched it for so many years, and so many people that are reporting on it are saying exactly that.
It could be. It really
And
could be.
I do kind of believe right now it is.
Mhm.
It really is. Okay, so when are we coming back next?
Tuesday, right? After Tuesday
Tuesday
night.
after we got Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So Tuesday at whenever.
So
Whenever
Dynamite is getting, when do we talk about Dynamite?
and I guess on Saturday after our collision
Our
episode.
collision. This is our great format. We're just like, what are we doing it? Okay.
You guys get to see it in live action of us playing.
Live action. Yeah. I mean, this is great. We literally, so your takeaway, we're gonna close out. Would you give him an A tonight or collision? B?
I give it a flat A. No
flat
minus
A.
or plus. Just A.
I'm kind of with you. I'm giving him a flat A, not an A plus, but I thought it was a good start. Let's fix those tech
That was
issues.
great.
Let's fix those tech
Yeah,
issues.
no, I have to. I need
And
to
fix
bring
the
up all
advertising, picture in picture, and make sure it's larger, and then I'd be good.
Just do this.
Just do this. All right. Thank you so much. Great to see you.